Hey everybody, welcome back to the Huddle, the Review.com's weekly football show. I'm Rob Todor, Executive Editor of the Alliance Review, joined as always by Mike Brown, our sports editor. And it's week 12 of the high school football season, week 11 of the NCAA Division III season. And so we'll talk a little bit about Mount Union football coming up in just a few moments. But Mike, let's start with the high school playoffs. We've got two teams left. We'll start with the bigger of the two schools, St. Thomas Aquinas, with an impressive road win at Brookfield last week.
Right, St. Tom got it rolling again. It's the Anthony Meglin show. He had another great game at quarterback, and he's been the key behind that younger St. Tom team this year. Basically got them into the playoffs, and they're getting some experience. I really think Tim Budd has done a great job. He's gotten the most out of that young St. Tom team this year, Rob. Anthony Meglin's been the ringleader for him, but they've got a lot of good experience for that team, which should bode well next year. But Friday night, they're going to have a tiger by the tail.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. They faced defending state champion Kirtland, coached by Tiger Laverty. Talk a little bit about Kirtland. You've seen them up close in person.
Are they awesome? They are averaging. Get this, they are averaging 57 points a game. To average 57 points a game is mind-boggling. So St. Tom's going to have to bring their A++ game Friday night, I think, just to be in that game.
Obviously, getting off to a good start is the key, but being able to throw the football, Kirtland's going to bring a lot of pressure, I'm sure, defensively.
Yeah, and he likes to run the football. From what I saw them, again, I saw Tiger Laverty the last 2 years, their teams, but I know what kind of schematics they use offensively and defense. They don't use anything fancy. They're so sound, they're so efficient, and they don't make mistakes. And when you make a mistake, they make you pay for it.
Yeah, so it's going to be a tough outing for Aquinas for sure. But if they come up with a win, that really sets them up well for the rest of the playoffs.
Sure does,
And in Division 7, Western Reserve opened up with a victory as was expected, and now they go to the second round.
Yeah, I got a chance to see that game last Saturday night, and Western Reserve's everything I thought they would be again this year. Andy Hake, just a wild man on the sidelines. He's worth the price of admission right there. But I tell you what, they've got a nice offense, a big line, Rob. They've got such good balance. They've got Nick Allison, a 2,000-yard passer. They've got Joe Falaska, almost a 1,000-yard receiver. They got almost two 1,000-yard running backs in Evan Nesbitt and Dan Zilke. I mean, you can't ask for better balance than that offensively.
Yeah, now, Blue Devils this week, talk about their opponent, who they take on.
Yeah, on Saturday night, they will have Danville. Now, Danville is a team that's got great tradition. They've been in the playoffs a lot of times over the years, and they're a team that kind of leans toward the defense. Their last 3 games, they pitched shutouts, including a playoff shutout last week. So I think it's going to be the big-time offense for Western Reserve against the pretty solid defense from Danville on Saturday night at Jackson's Robert Fife Stadium.
Okay, so 2 good games. Any other surprises for you over the weekend?
No, not really. I think it's playing out pretty much how we thought it'd be. I truly believe Western Reserve is going to be the one team that's got the most staying power in our area playoff-wise, and we'll see how it goes for St. Tom. Maybe they can spring the upset, but they have got one of the tougher playoff assignments in Ohio Friday night.
Okay. Now, we promised we'd talk about Mount Union. Of course, the OAC championship on the line this week as they play host to John Carroll. Both teams are 9-0. Both teams averaging over 40 points a game, and both teams giving up less than 7 points a game on the season.
Yeah, how about that? Mount having a big regular season game, because usually Mount just rolls through the regular season. But this is a huge game, and it's probably good a week before they start the playoffs that maybe this is almost like a playoff-type atmosphere this week. John Carroll's done a great job, and, in Mount's past, not recent past, but in the past, Mount and John Carroll had some great battles. When you go back to when Tom Arth was the quarterback at John Carroll, and they've had some good battles. I think Mount. The one thing I think works in their favor, Rob, is I think in their mind they had. I wouldn't call it a scare last week. They didn't play maybe as well as they would hope to play against BW. So I think my old coach used to say, "You're never the same team 2 weeks in a row. You're either better or worse." I think Mount's going to be better this week. And then John Carroll's coming off an unbelievable win over Heidelberg last week. Yeah. And you know what? I'm not so sure they can reach that 2 weeks in a row. So I think it really favors Mount, especially with Mount being at home. Yeah. But who knows?
Yeah. My theory, too, is the Mount aura because teams come in almost feel like they have to play a perfect game to win, no matter what their record is. Even the great teams that come in believe that, in the first mistake, Mount Union and another team that will capitalize on your mistakes. And if Mount gets off to a quick lead in this game, I think it's over quick. But the longer John Carroll can stay in the game and stay within striking distance, the better chance they've had. That's been the recipe
Yeah.
for when BW almost sprang the upset a couple years ago. Was the recipe when Ohio Northern won in the regular season a few years ago. But so I mean, it's doable. And John Carroll's a very good team, but I think if Mount Union gets off to a good start, it's going to play in mentally into the John Carroll.
I couldn't agree more, and I think that's a great point. What you say about teams coming into Mount and the Aura, because a lot of times you'll see Mount will go up like 21-0 within the first 5 minutes of the game before that team realizes, hey, we have to play some football, and then they do, but it's too late by then.
Yeah.
And Mount does that to you. I mean, they're so good, they're so efficient, and they've got that aura, like you said, going for them. I think that's huge in a game like this.
Well, we'll have coverage of all those games. We'll have previews throughout the week. We'll have coverage of the high school games on Friday night or Saturday's paper and Monday's paper. We'll have coverage of Mount Union both online throughout the weekend and in Monday's paper. So make sure you check that out. And for Mike Brown, this is Rob Todor. We'll see you at the stadium this weekend.